Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today patch 1.3.20 has just been released, so let's go over the patch notes. I'll be reading over the highlights, the main changes that I think affects players. Not gonna go through the whole patch notes. I will link the patch notes in the description if you wanna take a look at it. So the main issue or the change we have with 1.3.20 is the introduction of PVE and PvP instances for DD. This is a bit of a controversial topic. Some say it's good, some say it's bad. Majority of the PVE players does say it's good. We'll see how this is gonna be in the long term. But for now, this is gonna be like a wait and see approach for me. And Haga Basin is fully PvE. So the shipwrecks and everything in PvE in Haga will be PvE. Then there is the drop rate changes for testing sessions, mainly reducing the ancient way and pyro rockets. Who knows? Ancient way might become expensive now that it might not drop at all, just like last gun. We'll see about that. Uh, the drop rates previously heavily favored bad loot, I would say, like steel suits and other arguments which are less desirable, and very low chance for good arguments like say capacity expander, Jabba speed data capacity expander, which took me like 30 runs to get one. So one or two every 30 runs, which was an insane amount of runs. We'll see how much of a fix that is. Right. Technical changes. Streaming distances to improve performance and memory usage, client performance, rendering performance, just performance, normal stuff which they put on every update. I don't know if people do notice a difference with all performance increases, but I never do. Sometimes it is worse than before, sometimes it's better. Uh, I don't know how it's gonna be this batch. Now this one is kind of huge. This is how in PvP if you hover over a crawler, the players wasn't able to pick up the crawler from a carrier. So this was a bit of griefing maybe in PvP. It was uh, one way to disrupt spice farming. You ride an Orni on top of a crawler, and if a carrier wanted to pick the crawler up, they can't because of the vehicle in between. So this should fix that. So it's gonna be a bit, you know, huge for getting away from ornithopter. Uh, this one, I don't know, updated the rules of using vehicle backup tools mods, preventing, restoring, recovering, and relocating vehicles inside land claims without permission. Okay. Uh, Overland testing sessions. Reduced boss health by 3%, 5%, 10% in 2-player, 3-player, 4-player modes. This never was an issue. The boss health was never an issue, but no, it's whatever. Never really cared about boss health because the scaling was like with 4-player it was like 60% extra. So this one would, if it is taking from base health, the 10%, if it is taking from the whole health, then 16%, or if it is just a bonus that was applied, then it would be like 6%, 7% decrease at 4-player. So you are not gonna notice any difference. This one, yes, NPCs in boss encounter, 40% reduction. It's a pretty big amount on poison. Although in poison, one guy could kite the boss and the mobs in the left side, and the other players could kill the mobs in the right side, and it was pretty manageable. Radiation, I get it. Radiation, in my opinion, radiation should be 40%, and uh, poison should be 20%. But that's whatever. Darkness, it was kind of fine because everything was melee. One guy could kite and the other player could just use rocket launcher and kill them all, and it won't break your shield. So darkness was kind of fine, but reduction in mobs, that's good. Increase the cooldown of radiation boss NPC spawning ability from 25 to 30 seconds. You are not gonna see much of a difference, but yeah, I would have liked if they reduced the maximum mobs that can spawn in radiation. Right now it's like 10 for solo, 20 something like that for duo, and like 30 for trio. Uh, 30 for trio or quad. Uh, can't really count that big while fighting. Health of this is basically explained in one sentence of this thing. Matrix to first electrical puzzle in Imperial testing session 152 with the goal of being it less punishing. It it was never punishing, it was repetitive though. So I guess that's fine. I wouldn't use punishing as a word, but yeah, repetitive. That's good. No, I have to go test it, but yeah, that's repetitive. Altered drop rate of gear in testing session to not heavily favor specific weapons such as ancient and pyro rockets. Yeah, ancient might become expensive. We'll see. Reduce the drop rate of less desirable items such as steel suits. Doesn't say anything about the arguments though, because some arguments were like aids to farm. Uh, I don't know if that's gonna improve, but we'll see about that. Increase the chance of getting additional schematic drops in. I'm guessing this also includes arguments, not just schematics, but because for me, schematic kind of stopped being the problem. Arguments is the problem for me. Reduce the waiting time for arena. Well, it's a story, so it's whatever. Deep Desert and Landsat, PVE and PvP split. Um, the PVE instance is fully PVE, and PvP is how it was at launch, starting at Bureau outside of Shield Wall area. So from Bureau, PvP, Aero is still PvE. Has increased mining yield and spice harvesting by 2.5 in PvP areas. So that means you won't get the 2.5 bonus in PvE, so you won't get that in Aero, but 2.5 in PvP. So anything from Bureau and above. My floor sand farming is gonna be so much easier, and spice sand. Floor sand mainly because that's always boring stuff to farm. Haga Basin is fully PvE. Drop rate for non-unique combat in deep desert so that increase the drop rate for non-unique combat in deep desert so that there is a higher chance to get schematic node. So this might help in getting the shield and young Sparky. There's only shield, right? Young Sparky or Axe Razor Power Pike, you can use both. So mainly young the shield, Horseman shield. Updated all Lance Red mission recipes to only appear. Yeah, this is just like right now. If you open your crafting menu, you can see all the crafting as long as you have at least claimed selected that mission once. That's kind of huge, less annoying. The maximum distance at which the red vibration meter will show in has been increased from 500 to 1500. This is also vertical, so I think this is also vertical. So if you are at like 800 meter, you should still be able to see the red. And I think it's gonna be like a spherical radius. So yeah, you will be able to find the worm way faster or from long distance. Didn't really seem like an issue to me, but it is what it is. user interface, lot of, well, lot of text. Uh, so the things like this updated red running UI in the server transfer window to allow from 3 lines of text as to avoid scrolling, whatever. Basically UI stuff, not really game changing or game specific, but you know, UI changes. Might be good, might be good. Don't. Fixed an issue where the bug reporter tool sometimes failed to send bug report. Yeah, that was an issue. If you try to send bug, you won't be able to send bug. Surprise. Fixed an issue where players would spawn on top of their base when logging in. This was an issue. Someone did say that they spawn at 4 different positions when they respawn back. Never really was an issue for me though. Then again, I don't really remember where I logged off. So fixed several instances where the screen would remain dark after a fade to black. I didn't experience this, so someone might have. So it's an issue that was fixed. Fixed a game client crash that could happen when the attractor field ability was used too close to a wall. Okay, I never experienced it, but I did experience that you could cancel the attractor field. Well, you could use the attractor field twice if you do it close to the door in overland test sessions. So I think that will also be fixed, maybe. Fixed an issue where the game can hang infinitely upon startup before entering the main menu. Yeah, that could happen. Then again, this does happen to any instance that we load into, like Orland's map where you load into, say, Blushing Caverns, it could hang up as well in the loading screen. Fixed the infinite connecting to server issues when the player trying to. Yeah, this is also for not just for startup but also for any instance, new instance as well. Players muted by our automatic moderation system will now receive a whisper notifying that why and when their mute will end. Never knew that was a thing. Unstick would fail to find a spot. Fixed a bug causing players that had received a written player out. You know, finally, people who have been getting their monthly care package or return package is gonna be fixed. I never got it, so I'm glad that they fixed it. Fixed the issue where frames were hitching during the tea house cinematic, whatever. Building. Um, Base power, water not updating when demolishing a power. Okay. Fixed an issue where placeable may not preserve their assigned inventory after a server restart. Fixed an issue where augmented during the study of this is already fixed in live before this patch, but this was copy pasted from PTC, so this was already added. Uh, yeah, Rust is just normal stuff. Did not give a smuggler's run. I didn't even know there was an ammo container there. Fixed an issue where crippling strike could jump and use window sprint ability to cancel the crippling strike. Crippling strike might be coming back since they fixed the attractor field, and they still have the uh, launch skill which gives you like 50% damage resist. Crippling strike might be the way to go to kill a guy because you could just use reckless launch and stay alive forever, and it doesn't have a cooldown. So crippling strike could be a thing for PvP. Fixed an issue where targets affected by the magnetic attractor field received extra damage if the attacker had some. I never thought this was an issue. This is not the issue where when you shoot an attractor field it breaks the shield. This was an issue from day one. but I guess it's fixed now. And I think the attractor field brightness shield is also fixed. Uh, I'm guessing this is for the targeting abilities for would sometimes fail to target NPC should now always work. I'm guessing this is mainly about attractor field, which goes left or right, 90 degrees when you target quickly. Uh, I think this mentions that, but we'll see. Fixed a bug causing certain skills to not play after logging out and back in again. I think this is for the repair thing. So the passives which gives you less durability loss, uh, which was not working once you log out and log back in. So I think this one fix this means that it was fixed. It is fixed. Fixed an issue where upgrading an active ability that is currently slotted would not initialize the new cooldown or cost properties with a minor issue. This one. Taller NPCs can now reliably aim downwards when attacking. I have heard people saying that they don't take damage in poison bows because they are too small. I am too small, but I do take damage. So uh, sometimes some people was getting away with being smaller NPC, smaller players. I never been able to reliably heal it. Fixed rotation sugar that caused camera rotation to get stuck after swapping weapons at the same moment as getting staggered. Yes, this was an issue. This one I did felt it sometimes when you're switching weapon and you are getting like heavy bladed or staggered. Your camera gets stuck, and then when you move, you just like glitch frame by frame. You don't like your character also just pauses and you can move and you can use sugar wire. When you use sugar wire, it's fine, but when you land on the ground, you can't move. Your character freezes. I think that's fixed now. Fixed an issue that allowed high grade drill shot and their unique variation to deal significant shield. I kind of like drill shot doing shield damage though. Now it's a weapon which you can literally ignore. And if you have that skill which gives you more voice resist, you don't even get staggered. Fixed an issue where health kits were sometimes not consumed after triggering healing. If you had like changed your quick slots while you were like you press a heal and then you change the quick slots or put it back to your inventory or drop it on the ground, the heal kits were not consuming. So this fixes that. Fixed an issue where spice precision can be used infinitely by exiting and re-entering an overland destination. So free spice prescience no longer. So you buy your spice food because you need it every time you do the boss, or you are losing durability. So pick your poison. No. Fixed an issue where a buggy mining torrent was not functional after vehicle recovery. Never had to recover buggy. Fixed an issue where harnessed vehicle would get stuck in midair. Does this mean like you the backup, like putting the vehicle from backup tool and it's stacking in air? I mean that was a good feature though. You could sit on top of the Orni and use ancient way. Uh, that's fixed. We can't have fun things, can we? Some previously lost vehicles will be sent to recovery, mainly vehicles that have been lost due to a server crash right after restoring the vehicle. Okay. Fixed vehicle relocation wrongly repairing vehicle durability. I guess it was not supposed to repair the durability. Does that mean it doesn't use the red durability, 15% durability? I guess. Fixed several issues with vehicle ability triggering uninitially and stop working when spamming exit vehicle. Vehicle abilities. Okay, I don't know what that means. But does that mean our death from above is fixed? Maybe. Fixed an issue with vehicle abilities. Cause them to work erratically when exiting and landing vehicle. I think this is the death from above getting fixed. Permanent death from above getting fixed. Fixed in edge case that could lead to vehicles becoming not interactable. Okay, ornithopter now automatically leave vulture mode when a travel request UI pops up. Okay, fixed ornithopter vulture mode not losing speed when. Yep, ornithopter is now fixed. Now we are going back to the previous speed. You can't climb up. That was fun gameplay though. Fixed an issue where vehicle limits check sometimes did not work correctly after travel. Prevent the vehicle modules from getting duplicated when assembling a vehicle vitality is on quick sign. Yep, that was a dupe. Fixed customization switch, blah blah blah. Fixed an issue with reduced argument. You know, I did feel it, but I didn't think it was real until I saw it on patch notes. Like you do a higher dungeon and you feel like you're getting less loot, and it was pissing me off. So this was an actual bug, and it says it's fixed. We'll see. Fixed a bug that prevented the tactical radiation suit from dropping into. So now you can get great for tech radiation suit, basically. Where small wrecks and occurrences of them crashing on rock islands. Fixed an issue that could leave players stuck in the room after completing the dungeon. This happened to me once, and it was annoying because I had to leave the dungeon and do the dungeon again. Forgotten lab. Which one is Forgotten lab again? Fixed a ceiling gap in test session 10 that allowed players to go out of bounds. It's not even Overland session, is it? So it's kind of whatever for me. Fixed a whole players get stuck in between Jabal Ifrit and Hagar Rift. Okay, store journey, new player experience, some minor fixes, story fixes. Fixed an issue where unrelated rewards would briefly be shown when viewing rewards at Lancelot House representative. You weren't able to claim it, you see it just like a 2 or 3 frames, that was it. Fixed a case where same Lancelot missions were offered repeatedly. That was good though. I could do the Lancelot missions back to back to back and call it a day. Now it's gonna be flying through our land maps. More time to connecting and disconnecting than doing the missions. Fixed an issue where Lancelot mission could be shared repeatedly. So you can share it once, but you can't share it again. How does that work? Mission description. Cortex. Dura entry. Pyro rocket. Dura pyro rocket is removed. Backpack vanning. Burning blades not to show up in short blade category in exchange. Not ready loading. Minor fixes. Basically minor fixes. Fixed flashing point petrol ships. No graphics, animation, VFX. So basically, you can kind of ignore maybe small VFX, small animation, desync in NPC after using suspense or traversal, some minor stuff. Fixed an audio. Subtitles don't show if the master will. I don't know. If you don't want to hear the audio, do you want to see subtitles? Okay, that concludes the patch 1. 1.3.20. I will link the patch notes in the description. Thank you for watching and happy spice farming.